Good morning. This is Carrie Freeman. And yes, I'm taking off this mask. I just thought it would be a good idea to model mask wearing. Okay. I don't love it, but I do it every day. I step out, I even go do my laundry, and I wear my mask. So that's that. Ooh, it's hot, isn't it? It's not comfortable. I do it anyway. Welcome to my launch of a website I'm calling My Left Ear. And today's my birthday. I want to share that. I decided to launch this on October 3rd because it's something new, and it's a way for me to celebrate and share and kind of spread my wings and challenge my comfort zone. And you know what? A month from today is the election, which is not going to be postponed, by the way. And here's a couple of things. When I look off to the right, I'm looking at my little teleprompter to remind me what I want to talk about. And so I must tell you right away, what I'm doing, what I represent, is the Biden-Harris ticket. That's what I believe America needs. So if you're not on board with that, or at least undecided, this is probably going to aggravate you, and you might want to go to another site. Just saying. And again, because it's YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. These are my perceptions. So briefly, let me tell you about myself briefly. Professionally, I am a hypnotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist, and now a psychic coach, because I've been using my psychic abilities with my hypnotherapist. And for a lot of reasons, which I might talk about at some other time, I decided it would be maybe better to separate them. So it's a little bit of an experiment. I also am a writer, an author. I've written 2 books. One is an ebook, one is a regular book. I will talk about those at another time. I'm not about selling them right this minute, but I have a lot of experience with writing, and it is a passion of mine. So aside from being a change agent and an energy reader, I have a background as a professional actor. I'm in Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA, TV and film production. So as a result, I'm an acting coach, and I do help actors, and I'm a writing coach. I'm kind of a muse. So that's the small thing. Now I'm gonna start off with a fun story. About 2.5 years ago, maybe even 3, after Trump was elected, I called my brother in Chicago because he and I like to talk about politics, and he was really big on history, and we're super smart, and we tend to agree on everything. So I called him one day and I said, so listen, have you heard of do you know Senator Kamala Harris? And he said, no. Well, he's in Chicago, so, and this hadn't heated up yet. And I said, well, I think you should take a look at her. And he said, why? And I said, I got a feeling that she may be the next president. I have such a strong feeling about this woman. And he said, really? So he did. He followed up. He was interested, and he thought she was spectacular. Now we come to the campaign and Kamala as a candidate, and then she drops out. And I love her. I loved her then. And it was really sad, and I thought, that is really weird. Why would I have that? I'm usually not that wrong. So, okay, let's see what happens. So now I see her speaking after she drops out, and I looked at her face and I went, that woman's gonna be tagged as VP. She's gonna be VP because there's light coming out of her. There's just light emanating out of her, and she's perfect. And honestly, coming from a theatrical background, and I've directed plays, I also thought, she's like brilliant casting. She's got everything. She doesn't have to adjust. So then she did get pegged to be vice president. And I believe that down the road, that is going to be her, I think eventually Kamala Harris is going to be president. I love Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is the guy for our time. He's kind of a politician and a pastor all at the same time, isn't he? And I heard something interesting. I'm going to get on to predictions and stuff in a minute, but I heard something interesting about Joe, and it makes total sense. You know, he's so personable when he's speaking. He's so from the heart. He's so authentic. And somebody said, well, you know, Joe has Joe's done a lot of eulogies for a lot of friends and loved ones, and he's had a lot of losses. So he's gotten used to getting up and giving eulogies, which has to be authentic, which has to be from the heart. So now he takes it into this campaign, and he provides the most contrast to Donald Trump. One other thing about me doing this today, I wondered why I was procrastinating. And I really did. I've expected at some point Trump would get COVID. I really did, but I didn't know it was going to be this week. And then it dropped, and I went, oh, okay. That changes my program a little bit. And no wonder why I chose not to do it until today. So the other thing that I find interesting in the law of metaphysics and manifestation and the law of attraction, I find it so interesting. Listen to this. Trump has attracted everything he didn't want, inadvertently. Listen to this. This is interesting. He tried to hide Stormy Daniels. He got Stormy Daniels. He didn't want Michael Cohen testifying. He got Michael Cohen testifying. He didn't want to run against Joe Biden, and he even was impeached over it. Joe Biden is running. He didn't want to be impeached. He got impeached. He's a TV guy. Ratings mean everything. Optics mean everything. The RNC had much lower ratings than the Democratic National Convention. There was like no comparison. So those were just people sitting home in their easy chairs or their sofas going, oh, this is what I'm interested in. They weren't interested in the RNC. And I thought that was very, very telling. He didn't want his taxes exposed. Guess what? His taxes were exposed. And of course, he didn't want to get COVID. He really privately was taking all kinds of privately, who comes into the office and getting tested every day. But then his hubris brought him out into people unguarded, and it was bound to happen. So it's kind of interesting. Now, if I want to add to that, I'd say he passionately doesn't want to lose the 2020 election. And guess what? He's going to lose the 2020 election. And we look at that whole history of what he didn't want and he attracted. So that's part of where I go, where I read. So my purpose here is to do some predictions, comments, to inform, maybe entertain a little bit, share some stories, and make some recommendations. I know some really great sites and a couple of people doing podcasts that are phenomenal, and I'm going to mention them. So then in the future videos, I'm going to try to do maybe 2 a week. I'm going to talk about writing. I'm going to talk about, I developed some psychic games that help develop my intuition. And I'll share some stuff about hypnotherapy, some tips. In terms of politics, I didn't come to politics till my 20s when I did a lot of volunteering for pro-choice because I didn't want anybody messing with my uterus. And so I must have done about 20 fundraisers over a long period of time. And I worked on some raising money for senators, Barbara Boxer, and I worked on the One Voice campaign not with Barbara Streisand, but it was at Barbara Streisand's compound. And that was pretty unbelievable. So that's my background. And how did I come to my left ear? When I was thinking about doing this, I thought about, well, how do you get the information, Carrie? What happens? And I went, I'm driving, and I thought, well, it comes through my left ear. That's really all that happens. It just comes through my left ear, and either identify it or I don't. And I've gotten a lot better at identifying it. So that's why I thought, my left ear, that's how it happens. So now I have friends calling me, because I don't charge my friends, and they'll say, can you ask your ear about blah, blah, blah? And I go, yeah, blah, blah, here's the answer. And they go, thanks. So it's really cute. I'm getting like, would you ask your left ear this? So here's my little history with psychicness. So, because I'm not doing tarot. It started when I was 4 years old. I started having dreams that I had a little baby sister, and I did not. I had an older brother, and it started kind of a lifelong thing of I really want a sister. And of course I didn't get a sister. It was just my brother and I. And when I was 18 years old, my father told me that I had an illegitimate sister, and she was 3 years younger than me. So that was kind of mind-blowing. And what I need you to know is that my parents have passed on. And when I share this with you, it doesn't hurt anybody now. I would never have revealed that to my mother or talked about it until after they were gone. So I just want you to know that. when I first came to LA, I did a play with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. I'm actually writing about it because I was with them for 3 months. I didn't act in it. I was a production assistant, so I drove them around. I got to know them really well. But there was an understudy in the play, and she used to help Walter put the gray hair before the show every night. He found it very relaxing. And he was kind of like a father to all of us. He was really wonderful. So when the play ended, I said, you know, I think within 2 weeks, you're going to get a call from Walter, and he's going to help you get your SAG card. And 2 weeks later, she got a call from the casting director on the Sunshine Boys, and he put her in a scene at a deli, and she got her SAG card. But I still didn't realize I was psychic. I just would say these things to people. Now, here's one I love, and I may end on that, so this doesn't go on too long. But I have a friend named Jay Johnson, and Jay is such a talented actor, comedian, and ventriloquist. He's brilliant. And he started to develop a one-man show that got picked up to go to Broadway. And I saw the preview here at I'm in California, at the Westwood. And after it, it's a 90-minute show. And by the way, it's on Amazon Prime, and it's great. My two and only, Jay Johnson. Rent it, buy it. But anyway, I wrote him a letter, like a letter that has a stamp. And I said, Dear Jay, I saw the show. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to get nominated for a Tony Award, and you're going to win the Tony Award. So hang on to the letter. So he hung on to the letter, and he got nominated. And then the night of the Tony Awards, I got a text from backstage because of the time difference. And he said, he nicknamed me Spooky. That's his nickname. And he said, Spooky, I won the Tony tonight, and I've got your letter in my tuxedo. That probably is my favorite story. I had a friend who had a long distance relationship, and finally got to meet her boyfriend, who sounded wonderful. But when I met him, I didn't like him. I thought he was attractive and all that, but there was something. And then during dinner, I looked at him and I went, oh shit, he's cheating on her. So that was really heavy. And of course, I didn't say anything. You don't win by sharing that with someone, especially when you don't have evidence. But I told a neighbor without using names, and it bothered me. And then 2 weeks later, she got evidence that he was cheating on her, and she called me crying, and she said, did you know? And I said, yeah, I did, but nothing good would have come to share it with you. So those are like a few things. Oh, one last thing. I spent 8 years at working at a rehab in Malibu, working with drug addiction and alcoholism. And it wasn't, I didn't set out to do it. I just got called for an interview and they hired me, and then I was there for 8 years. Learned a lot. I really stretched my psychic skills there. Because when you sit in a room with someone for 50 minutes and they're really talented at lying, you have to get very intuitive about what's going on here. But I was there for 8 years, and then about 3 months before I left, my left ear said, you better clean out your office. They're gonna get rid of you. So I did. I cleaned out everything off the walls, everything personal. And I got the phone call one afternoon. Would you come up to the boss's office? He fired me, and he said, he was very much like Donald Trump. He was kind of a real estate baron and very much, he looked like a goose stepper, okay? The blonde hair, the blue eyes, and he looked like he should put on a uniform. But he said to me, and he was very pompous and a narcissist, and he just loved doing this. He loved firing me. And he said, so you need to go down to your office and clean out your office. And I said, oh no, my office is all cleaned out. Well, he jumped up and started screaming. He was so angry. All right, so now let me get to a couple of these predictions. One of the things with Joe, even before this COVID, even before the debate, is that this is not 2016. Joe is not a polarizing figure. And unfortunately, and I voted for HRC, she was a polarizing figure. And we don't know what Comey did. That's a big story right there. And it's a good movie, by the way. Comey Rules on Showtime. I think you should see it. All right. Brad Parscale. That guy is 6'8". Anyway, he's going to talk. He's going to share information. And, it has it that the Trumps are really nervous. But he'll definitely talk. Wants to do anything to get out of the trouble he's in. And he's in a lot of trouble. I don't know if you know this, but after the debate, the Biden campaign raised like $35 million. They're on fire. I already talked about the TV ratings. This is going to sound a little strange. If Amy Phony Barrett gets in, which now I don't know, I think there's a big problem with it. So we'll have to see. I may get the leftier information in the next few days. Now I have doubts. Something good comes from the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I get visits, and sometimes I'm not sure what they're about. And about 4 or 5 days before Ruth passed, she came in. I just kept thinking about her. I thought, well, I think maybe she's telling me she's going to stick around. She's going to stick around. But that's not what was going on. But yeah, she was flying around me. I just misread it, which I will do from time to time. I've had that happen with a couple of people. Biden is going to get in. Now, here's the deal. For a long time, I've been saying to friends, I am having the hardest time seeing Donald Trump running. Why is that? It's like a blank. And now I think maybe I'm beginning to see it with his COVID. He's got COVID. He's sick. He's at Walter Reed. In fact, yesterday I tweeted, and I happen to love Twitter, I tweeted at about 1 p.m. because everybody was speculating, is it true? Is it real? Is it this? And I wrote, we really won't know until he's airlifted to Walter Reed Hospital. And about 1:10, breaking news, Trump is being airlifted to Walter. So sometimes it'll happen that fast. And the thing is with COVID, and I think I had it in late January when I got back from Mexico, it'll get worse. So, it's funny. The doctors are saying he's tremendously fatigued, and his people are saying, oh, he's got a lot of energy and he's in really good spirits. Meanwhile, I don't think he's texting. If he does survive this, he's not going to be around for the inauguration, and he's not going to have any luck with a lawsuit. He might try, but he'll go away, and he may start to try to open a new TV station. I don't know that he's going to go to jail, which may surprise you, but I think he's going to lose a lot of money and properties. I think some of his kids may go to jail. I do, but it won't happen overnight. It'll take a while. And I think Kamala Harris will be the 47th president of the United States. I think Joe will not do any more than 4 years, and I do not see him passing, but I don't think he's going to do any more than 4 years. That's all I see. And just about the debate, I wrote, Biden brought his preparation and Trump brought his hubris. That's kind of really what happened. Now, they're saying the debates are probably canceled now. There might be a VP debate. He can't bounce back to have another presidential debate. And I really wondered whether it was going to happen in the first place. And one last thing, the SDNY is approaching Trump family by starting on the outside. So Eric, who I'm sorry to say is not very bright, I'm trying to be nice, they're starting with Eric. And that's what they do. They start on the outside and then they close in and they get people to talk and turn and stuff like that. And this could turn into a RICO case. So yes, there is panic. Now, although it looks dire for people, everyday people, I think we're going to get a stimulus, and I think we're going to get an extension in unemployment, and it's going to come kind of late, like last minute, because it serves the GOP for it to come in right before the election, because then Trump can try to look like a hero. So let me just see if I want to share anything more. I don't want to go on and on. I want to say we're in a yin-yang presidency situation run. You've got the yin in Joe and the yang in Trump. We've got love versus hate. We've got confinement versus freedom. We've got implosion versus explosion. And I think in the long run, and no, not in a few months, we're going to find ourselves in a kind of a renaissance. But like I said, not anytime soon. So I'm going on 20 minutes, and I think maybe that's good for the first time. I do have definitions of shared psychosis, which I think is a fascinating subject, which a lot of the people who follow Trump have shared psychosis. That's my belief. And I've been looking up kleptocracy because I don't hear that term very much, but the Trumps are really a kleptocracy. He got into it to market, and he didn't expect to win. And they're in it to win it, to make money, and they're doing it. I don't care. They just need to go. I don't care. Just take the money and go. It means through Cambridge, it says a society whose leaders make themselves rich and powerful by stealing from the rest of the people. What does this sound like? So I was going to talk about books. I'm not going to talk about books today, except it's a cottage industry, and I think Barnes and Noble should open up a Trump book section because a lot of them are really good books. Mary Trump, oh my God, you rock. That's all I want to say. Maybe she'll see this sometime. So many of these books. The one book I find most interesting is by John Dean. It's because it's called Authoritarianism Nightmare, because he really focuses on the followers. And I think that's part of the phenomenon, the followers. Many more, I'm going through it, going through the books because I don't have time today, don't want to exhaust you. I wrote this over a week ago that Rona Daniels really irritated me when she blamed Joe Biden for all the things that Trump was doing. Hated Mitch McConnell for dancing on the grave of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, particularly. If you want to reach me, it is Carrie's left ear at gmail.com. And Carrie is Carries, no apostrophe. Carrie's left ear at email.com. So this week I like to leave with a quote, and I love this quote. And I have to scroll because this font got so big on me. But it's from a book, and I'm not even recommending the book because I don't think it's worth it to read the book. But I love this quote. The book is called If You See the Buddha on the Road, Kill Him. And in a way, this is more for Trump people than you, but I'm going to read it anyway because it's really good. And here it is. The Zen master warns, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. This admonishment points up that no meaning that comes from outside ourselves is for real. It's the big font that's making me very slow, sorry. The Buddhahood of each of us has already been obtained. We need only to recognize it. Killing the Buddha on the road means destroying the hope. This is it. That anything outside of ourselves can be our master. Whoa, right? No one is bigger than anyone. I'm going to repeat that. No one is bigger than anyone else. There are no mothers or fathers for grown-ups, only sisters and brothers. So sisters and brothers, I say to you, thanks for watching. I'll be back in about a week with more. And as I say, this is mine, make peace, make memories. And happy birthday to me. So have you ever seen one of these? It's a clicker that turns off the video. It's so cool. I was at Best Buy last week, and this hotshot who sold me this phone had never seen one of these. You set it to Bluetooth,